I was raised in a family of artists. I have a professional illustrator in each one of my parents, so I'm kind of the rare artist that actually got support growing up for wanting to pursue the arts. I don't think I knew exactly what I wanted to do in terms of the exact area of illustration. I was kind of brought into a program at my college which was more traditional and didn't really focus on entertainment arts until later on in my schoolings. But once I discovered the illustration that was being done for entertainment, I knew instantly that that's kind of like what I wanted to do. For a while, I felt like I was falling into a trap of doing things that I thought were popular or doing artwork that was inspired by stuff that I would see online. And eventually I realized that the stuff that makes the best content for your work is stuff that interests you. Now, whenever there's something that really interests me, I know that that's something that I should focus on in my art, and my work has gotten a lot better since I've kind of stopped worrying about making something that I think will be good, and I focus more on making something that I know that I'll like. I can't make work when I'm sad or when I'm just not in a place where I can focus on something. I need to be able to be excited about life and excited about things around me, and then I very rarely will sit down at a desk and make work unless I'm in a good mood. So having the dogs around usually helps that, even if it's just like the fact that they'll get me up and get me outside to like go for a walk. Their excitement when I come home. Sometimes I just want to come home and go to sleep because I've had a long day, but they're always there to greet me and they kind of keep me going. I've always wanted to break into animation, but it was a lot more difficult than I expected. It's not something that just, you can apply for a job and get it. You have to be there for the right opportunity when it happens. And even though you're extremely talented, there's a lot of other extremely talented people out there also, and you might also just not be the best fit for a certain show. So your style has to match, and there's all these special things that have to fall into place in order to break into that industry. But I think being nervous about starting a job or being nervous about going into a job at all is a good thing. You're not likely to get your best work when you feel like you could do anything or you're not challenged at a job. You always want to have that little bit of fear, that little bit of fire inside, that you're not quite sure if you're up to the task. I feel like it will breed confidence by having something that you need to overcome, and having an opportunity to not necessarily know what you're capable of, but in that challenge you will find out what you're capable of, and you'll probably end up doing some of your best work. A lot of people see these studio jobs and that's like the holy grail for them. They think that if you don't have a studio job, you're a failure, or if you haven't gotten a studio job, then that means that you haven't reached the peak in your career. But the reality is a lot of people who have studio jobs spend all day working on artwork that they might not be proud of, or they're working on artwork for other people and they're never actually bringing their own creative visions to life. So there's actually a lot of value in not having a full-time art job and pursuing it as just a passion. If you can find a way to spend 100% of your creative time pursuing your own vision, then there's actually something to be sought after in that. For me, I spend a lot of time doing stuff at work that isn't necessarily what I want to do, and then by the time I get time to come home and focus on what I want to do, I have only remnants of my energy left. So it's kind of like if you're running a marathon, you're not going to run your fastest mile in your 20th mile. So I think finding other ways to sustain your lifestyle, your creative lifestyle, is really important. One thing that I really like about being outdoors, that is similar to art, is that when you're in it and when you're doing it, it commands your entire focus. Like, it's really hard to make art when you're thinking about other things, and when you're out riding a bike or you're in nature, you're not ever thinking about anything else but what you're doing. Both of those things are highly focused activities, but also very relaxing activities. So I like that both of them take you away from whatever problems you have or whatever else you have going on in day-to-day life, and they kind of command your attention. Both of them are escapes from whatever might be on your mind, but they both bring you to different places. Biking is just something that it's complete freedom. You get to see so many amazing places and travel and feel the energy of being outside and breaking a sweat, and just that feeling that you could literally go anywhere. You don't have to worry about how much gas is in your tank, or how rough the road is, or anything like that. You can just go. It's a really good way for me to unwind and just release energy. I think I do some of my best artwork after I've gone for a long bike ride and I'm relaxed, and then I come home and I sit in my studio, and then there's like a calmness that comes about me after expending so much energy. Some would say that biking can be an art in and of itself, but I think that's just because they're both forms of expression. But for me, they're two separate entities. My name is Isaac Orloff. I'm a full-time adventurer and part-time artist.